it. But it's a very good stroke for people. Well, maybe I should be. It's a very good stroke if you know you've got no idea of acceleration, inconsistent club face control, and a definite tendency to under-read greens. So, it's about pace. To be a good putter, you've got to control your pace. And I want to start this first segment with two things that are really important: stability and rhythm. Stability to me would be not moving the lower body one bit. This is Jordan Spieth, arguably over the last year or two the greatest putter on the planet. And I'm just going to draw some lines here, and you're going to see that essentially, as he puts, there is negligible to virtually no lower body movement. I mean, there's virtually no lower body movement there. I remember one of the great teachers saying to me one time, he liked to imagine he'd put people in a big pickle barrel there, filled it full of concrete, and they just stayed in that pickle barrel full of concrete. And I'll tell you what, it certainly looks to me as if Jordan Spieth does that. There's no lower body motion, and you're going to see also there's no particular wrist action. I've got to drill for that. Now, I really didn't feel it was just about everybody. Just about everybody's got a towel.
Everyone has towel
look,
bags.
if you want to feel stability with the lower body, as simple as it gets, but really good, roll up a towel.
Okay.
Put it underneath the arches of your feet, and right away you get a connection between the heels and probably the joints of the big toes and perhaps even the toe, and you can feel stability, and you can feel when you're going back and forth whether you're moving or not.
Okay.
So I'm just going to roll that towel up.
Okay, roll it up.
Put it down there, and I want you to, I should roll it up a little bit than that. There we go, that's more. Roll it up nicely. Now just have a few practice swings to start with. Arches there.
Okay, I can
just
feel
got
that.
a few practice swings. And, you might even want to close your eyes because that heightens your feel. Both hands on the club, both hands on the club. I know that's your routine, but we'll come to that later. Do you feel putting on that towel alerts you to a sense of steadiness, a sense of stillness?
Definitely. There's a connection with the ground, I feel, so it's helping me to keep everything still.
Well, there's only two real connections in golf, by the way, and you've just hit one of them. That would be the feet to the ground, and the other one is the hands to the club. So let's have you put one
you can feel
here.
that instantly when you put
You certainly can. I don't know that towel is absolutely aimed where you would want it to be. So if it doesn't go, we're actually at about the 50-50 mismake here. But a sense of keeping the lower body especially still. Very important for putting to keep the lower body still. Beautifully done. Keeping the lower body beautifully still. That's number one, stability. Let's trade places now. Number two stability would be this.
It's a little right to left, just so you know.
Tiny bit right to left. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Helping you out.
Look, excessive, unnecessary, unwanted wrist action. Who does that? I would say a vast majority of people who shoot over 80. They really do. Now, can you putt well using the US? Yes, you can. But it is difficult. And it is better to reduce the variables. One of them being the stability with the feet. Another variable you can reduce is a wrist action. We just saw Jordan Spieth on the big screen there. He actually does it by going left-hand low. If you don't want to go left-hand low, there's a great way to practice. And that's just to go down the grip a little bit more than normal and just put a ball in there between the top of the grip and the arm. And see if you can just move that putter back and forth without that ball dropping out. Now, I'll exaggerate a bit, but if you use excessive wrist action, that ball's coming out. Now, is this just a drill for beginners? No. I've seen people do this at the Masters. I've seen people do this at the US Open. I've seen people do this at the Open Championship. Learning to putt and keeping that ball right by your left arm is a very good way to ensure you've got very good stability when you're putting. Now, if you've got good stability when you're putting...
Good putt there?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. If you've got good stability when you're putting, you're well on the way. The second thing that I saw as I watched golf as a Newcastle golf club was an absolute proliferation of bad rhythm, poor acceleration, bashing it 5 feet past the hole, leaving it 10 feet short. My mother-in-law, lovely lady, wonderful direction with the putting, no idea with this.
No
really.
feel for the speed?
None at all, because she has bad rhythm. Now, look, we're in this age of... if you want to putt better, you need to look at this. I got permission from my people to put this on the show. It is fantastic. The iPad here, it's all synced up.
We've got the app downloaded, ready to go?
This was a putt you rolling it. Now that's 1.5. Now look, I said to you, I can give you away, and this is how I've learned that, although really if you want to putt better, you must. But if you don't have the app, here's what I found works. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1.
Okay.
1, 2, 3 going back, 1 coming down. 1, 2, 3, 1. If I am at 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, I will be pretty close to the ideal number. Now it's 0.63 going back, 0.34 coming down, 1.8.
That was better there.
It's not bad. I want you to have a quick go. I know you've never used
Okay.
this. This is not fake.
Never have.
Um,
Use this putter.
And look, it's a great way. Even if you just did it with the count, ladies and gentlemen at home. 1, you can't forward press with this, by the way.
No.
I don't know if you do. But 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, you show off.
I nailed it,
Look
guys.
at that.
I
Look at
nailed
that.
it.
Look at that.
My
0.58,
first
which
time
is,
ever.
1/100th of a time behind Faxon, and 0.30. Now, I don't need to ask if you're a good putter by looking at that. You obviously are a good putter.
Yes.
If you can practice that way, and you can learn to repeat your timing and repeat your rhythm, who would have thought that in putting, we know in the big swing there's timing, but who would have thought in putting there's a time? There is, and guess what? We can measure.
Espera, Moni.
And what you can measure, you can manage, you can improve. Feedback, so important. And I've gone through that fairly quickly, but this is massive for golf instruction.
This is pretty cool technology.
It's super cool.
How good is that? And I like the results of this, so
Of course you
good
do.
stuff here. I like it. Okay. Up next, don't go anywhere. We'll teach you how to correct another one of the biggest putting mistakes: inconsistent face control.
Yeah, very much so. And really, to get control of the club face, you'll see tour pros using training aids, all sorts of things to help them get face control. And when we come back, I'm going to give you some simple ones that you can do at home to get control of your club face.
Skip.
The back to school of golf. Now, we've already covered the first two biggest putting mistakes. Number one being poor stability. Martin gave a great drill, rolling up a towel, putting it under your feet. That's definitely going to help you feel stable throughout your putting stroke. Number two, bad rhythm. Download that app, work on your rhythm, get good rhythm like me, right, Martin? I liked it. It was good results. Now let's move along to number three, and that's inconsistent face control.
Yeah, I just want to go back there a little bit and say that poor stability and bad rhythm got it out in the end. Poor stability and bad rhythm are 1 and 2, because they are the ones that will absolutely affect the pace of the putt, which is 16 times more important than the putt. Now, the face control affects the direction. The face angle when you hit the ball is over 90% responsible for the direction the ball goes in. Now, how can you practice that? People practice with swing path devices, but very few of them do much to control the club face. I like people to at least practice with a stripe on the back of the ball. You can see here we're watching video, and we're watching, some of the best players in the world using devices that will help them with their aim. They will help them with the start direction of the ball, which is a wonderful indication, in fact, of the face angle of impact. So as I mentioned, I like people to start with a stripe on the ball to practice. And the thing with the stripe is, you line it up vertical to where you want the ball to start, and you have a definite intent to hit the back of the ball, to hit that stripe. I'm exaggerating just a touch here, but if I came in too open, I'm going to hit on the inside of the ball. And I think you'll see if I came
Está
in
cerrada la
too close,
habitación, Moni.
I'll come in that way, I would hit the outside of the ball. So having an
Pero no entraste para nada, yo la dejé cerrada, ¿eh?
a couple of drills you
Era
can do.
cerrada, yo no entré para nada.
¿Por qué no te fijas?
Yo no entré, yo me fui hasta acá en la mesa de la cocina.
Right, to get the flex in.
You have to reinforce. If you just took a 48-inch steel ruler, which I've got here, and you put a ball with
Sí,
the
está
stripe on
cerrada.
it, and just see if you can roll the ball the full length of that 48-inch ruler. This is hard. I don't know if I'll do it or not. It's hard. But it's wonderful practice, and it's great for your aim. Anything that helps you aim well is good. You can put your putter face against the end of that 48-inch ruler and make sure that you're aiming in the right direction. You can put your face against the lines. It certainly doesn't negate stability, but can I start the ball right down that line and keep it on that line? Now, I pulled it just a little bit. Now, what does that mean? It means the face was closed. It means I hit slightly on the outside of the ball. So if that was my tendency, and that is my tendency, I would have to practice trying to make sure I hit right on the back of the ball and try to keep it on that ruler I over-exaggerated, but that's part of learning. Give it a go, Blair.
Or give it a go. Alright, I love the idea of putting the line on the golf ball. I think obviously it gives you a great visual.
Well, it certainly helps with your aim. This is an incredibly hard drill. It might be the hardest drill I know for face control, but it's the one that if you can do it is really, really going to help you putt.
This is going left of that hole, just so we know. Oh, it looks
Okay.
nice to me.
Now, so that's interesting too. It actually isn't going left of the hole, so not only did it help with starting the ball on line, it helped Blair's perception. So it is really worth taking this out on the putting green, finding a straight putt, or at least you start there.
Right.
Can you roll the ball down that line? Great way to practice, and you know, I mean, what does a 48-inch ruler cost? Not very much.
Well, I love this. Michael, if you're watching, you need to go out and get this ruler, because this is going to help you at home and really everyone. I love that.
Well, I think it will, because well, it'll help the direction. Now, a second way, and this is sort of what I'd call this is homework. My mad inventor friend Dale did this for me. But if I take this elevated aim line, which is a little different than normal, Dale put some golf balls on it, and I like it.
I like it.
Again,
We just put some golf balls on
it
there.
helps me see the line. But this you can do at home, and I'm going to make one slight addendum to it. It gives me a line. It's really good to see that line. But somewhere down that line, about a foot down the line, to check the start direction of my golf ball, you can do this at home. I really hope you do. Somewhere down here, I'm going to put one golf ball. I'm going to put a sleeve of balls, giving myself a touch of room on one side, a touch of room on the other side. You get to choose how much room you give yourself. But again, can you start the ball on line? Again, the stripe is lined straight up. Can you start the ball there? Now, it's so interesting to me. I mean, that definitely looks offline to me. I know it's not, but it looks offline. And again, I pulled it, which is my tendency. So I've definitely got work to do on that. Blair, show me up again, if you would be so kind, please.
See, I'm going for 3.
But one of the things Dave Pell's taught me is this. You can't fix your putting if you don't know what your tendencies are. I've just exhibited to the whole world I tend to pull putts. Not a problem. Next time you see me putting, I won't be pulling them. But you need the feedback. Well, some of us need the feedback.
I love this feedback. I love it.
Of course you do. Of
I
course
love
you do.
cutting drills like this, though.
Well, the feedback is where you improve. Just going out on the putting green, like all these golfers I saw at Dear Old Newcastle Golf Club, doesn't make you a better putter. It just makes you more of what you're already doing. If you want to improve, you've got to be prepared to be uncomfortable. All good stuff is just the other side. All improvement is just the other side of being uncomfortable. So, you know, do your feedback drills at home, and then you can expect a whole more putts.
You'll be making all the putts. Right,
We're not taking on 2, but we're taking on 3 popular beliefs about putting. So, Blair, give me the first statement,
3.
please.
All right, let's start with the first statement. Right or rubbish? The putting stroke should be straight back and through with no rotation. Martin?
Rubbish, 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 rubbish. You really can't do that at all. Now, there may be with the shortest of putts the feeling that the putter goes straight back, straight through. Let me show you a couple of those putter training aids that people would use on the tour. I'm not going to use these, but you can see that the plane, the angle that this would be at, is not vertical at all. It's, if you were going to putt with one of these, the putter is moving back and in and up to the inside a little bit, and down and out and forwards. It's moving on a plane, it's moving on an arc. Now, they may get relatively close to vertical, but nobody's putting on a vertical plane, which would be straight back, straight through. Everybody's on an angle. Some people like to think about an arc when they putt.
So there's always a slight arc then, right?
I think there is always
Yeah.
a slight arc. There's
I agree
always a
with that.
slight arc. This would be, you know, how you would see it using an arc here. That the putter would arc slightly to the inside. Now, the putter face would stay square to that arc or that path, but it would arc going through. It's not straight back or straight through. I think when you try and go straight back, straight through, you lose the rhythm of your stroke. That's not very good. Your hands and arms start doing things they shouldn't be doing. That's not very good. So what's my drill for that? It's very simple. You take an alignment stick, aim it at a target. It could be a can of soda at home. You put the sweet spot of the putter right over the alignment rod, and then as you putt back and through, you see it arc very gently inside that alignment stick, arcs back to it, and very gently back to the inside. Now, it's not very much, but the app we started the show with, the Blast app, it shows us there is phase rotation. So, do you putt straight back, straight through? Not quite. The shortest of putts, it might feel straight back, straight through, but it's never actually straight back, straight through, especially if you start, putting at any length at all.
I
I
like
finally made one.
You
There
made
we
one.
go, yeah.
He's warmed
Now,
up.
Okay, we've answered
All right.
that one.
Let's get straight to the second statement. The putter head should reach peak speed before impact. Martin, is that right or?
Well, a lot of people think that's rubbish, but in fact it's right.
It's right. I
It's
like it.
right. Don't have many of them.
Okay.
It's right. I love the science because we can measure stuff now. And here's what the best putters do. They reach peak speed somewhat before impact, and then they're coasting through it. Now, what does coasting mean? It means if you're a good speed-abiding citizen, you get up to 70 miles an hour on the Florida Turnpike, and then you're coasting at 70. You're not slowing down, but you're not picking up speed. Really, how do you get that? Well, that's very much to do with the rhythm that we had in segment 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. Is there acceleration at impact? Let's see you knock another one in.
Okay.
In fact, I think the best putters would know that there is zero acceleration at impact. They're not decelerating, it's not slowing down, but you probably reach peak speed, 2 or 3 inches before you reach the ball. And the reason I like people to know that is to take out this horrible hit. There we go. Someone
Good.
put the lid on. Can't make them all.
It was a good stroke, though.
Not even you
Can't
can
make
make
them
them
all.
Can't make them all. But the reason I wanted to bring that one to the show is that people don't have this idea, at least I accelerated going through it. Used to hate that in the pro-ams, I'm sure you did. They'd knock
Right.
it 7 feet.
Stabbing at it.
Well, they'd knock it 7 feet past and say, at least I gave it a chance. No, you didn't. If you went 7 feet past, it was going too hard. So it's coasting. And think of a car reaching peak speed and then coasting into the ball.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 1.
One count will definitely help with that. Okay, moving on to the third, last but not least, keep the putter head low to the ground to impart topspin. Is that true? Is that right or rubbish?
That is rubbish.
Rubbish.
Number 1, you can't start the ball with topspin. No matter how you hit the ball, you either bounce it in the ground by de-lofting it, which I really
We don't
like,
suggest.
or you have to launch it. That's why putters have loft on. Effective loft at impact, perhaps 1 degree effective loft at impact. So there's a hitting up with a slight de-lofting oftentimes of the putter, not negative loft, 1 degree of loft, but you're hitting up at the ball slightly. That launches the ball out of the tiny depression it sits in on the green, and you can't do that keeping the putter low to the ground.
Okay.
Now, a drill for that one.
Okay.
So I'd like you to set up to this ball. Now I've put a very useful alignment sticks, as you can see. I've put that alignment stick just behind the ball.
Okay.
If you have what is known as the correct right angle, that's the sort of the lingo term of it, the putter's actually coming up a little bit as you hit the ball, probably de-lofting it.
Okay, so just putting with that alignment stick there and okay.
I would want you to be able to strike the ball up and over that alignment stick,
Okay.
still rolling it in the right direction. So no clobbering the stick. You did not clobber the stick. You did make the putt nice and easy.
Thank you.
You need to find a tournament as soon
I'm
as
getting
we.
ready for American Century
Well,
Championship next
you
month.
want one as soon as we finish filming, let me tell you, because you are on fire.
I'll warm it up. All right, but Michael, this is really going to help you. Put that alignment stick.
Back and through now, holding that finish for a couple seconds. Work on the push drill. It's going to help you to have a better stroke. It's going to make those short putts easy and lower your scores.
I think that's a particularly good drill if you get to pull the ball to the left. I'll be doing that one myself. Thank you for that.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Blair, thank you very much. Yes, when it comes to choosing a putter, well, there are many options, as we all know. I've just got 5 of them here. Now, what are the things you have to consider? The length, the loft, the lie, and then the lines on the putter head. Do you like them or not? The length is very important. If we look at some of the people who went away from the anchoring, they're using much longer putters. You have to do something with the loft I'm going to come to. But if you're going to use an anchored putter, obviously that's a very long one. That goes up just below my elbow, legal certainly. Some people really like that. I am not a fan of longish putters unless you rest them against the arm. And the reason is if you're using very long putters, I think you get too much angle in the elbows, too much angle in the wrists, and you get too much or you can get too much freedom. So I think the length of the putter is very important. I prefer a shorter putter, if anything, because I think that allows for your arms to hang and give you a sort of pendulum motion. So the length. I would go for shorter rather than longer. The other thing in the putter is you've got grip thickness, haven't you? I mean, he is a 1.35 from Wynn, grip thickness. Some people like the thicker grips. You can get them even thicker than this if you like. Again, I still prefer the traditional, but some people really like the thickness of the grip. Jason Duffner does very well with it, certainly. Just one recently. And I think, you know, you might want to investigate that if you're not happy with it. Just getting a grip that's a bit thicker. Now, the loft on the putter, really important. Loft, really important. If you tend to have your hands forwards at address, like a Kuchar, like a Mickelson, you need loft on your putter. If you have your hands 6 degrees forwards, you might need 8 degrees of loft on. On the other hand, if you like Zach Johnson, you prefer your hands behind, you might need negative loft on. I certainly hope that Zach Johnson never putts with a putter that has
So many equipment choices out there, and I think, like you said, it's so important to choose something that looks good to you and feels good to you. All right, up next, we're talking the mental side of putting with tips from the best teaching tandem in the game, Pia Nielsen and Lynn Marriott. They've coached numerous major champions, PGA Tour winners, and yours truly. Find out how they helped one of their students sink the most important putt of his life when we come back on School of Golf. Dave Pelz. He's worked with numerous major champions, including Phil Mickelson, and as you can see here, he's quite the putter himself.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
This that
ridiculous
is the word,
with
ridiculous.
a capital R.
My
It was
goodness.
about 200 feet.
Rolling.
Yes.
Nothing
Yes.
but
Yes. Yes, nothing
Oh,
but
good.
net. Unbelievable. He couldn't believe it. Eddie Pelz, his son, couldn't believe it.
Wow.
He did it. Yes, absolutely.
School of Golf, brought to you by the K900 from Kia, official vehicle of the